How many records get sold? On that drop that rock and roll. Put your project to a hole in the real world. DJ people with ideas. They just like me and you when it's on that camera. Just a bit up in the real world. If you can only make it. People almost got the millions and my system disrespected. If you turn to my word of advice, then you just relax, dog. Cause do what you got to do like that. Like work and kick the sky. You do a bada, blaming, gotta cry. Oh, you just get high. Did you say, hey, fuck it if you a lie. Stay real. You don't think these record deals gon' beat your beats and pay your bill because they die. It's easy to live in another thing they hide. Don't know how much money they got, and all your records sound the same. Look at that fake thug on beat rap stereo all down the radio. Same things in the video, but not in the video. Yo, let me know. You record labels slang, I take like cold. You can be next in line and shine and still be right around the club. You know the Lexus or just that, a dream was a sunset, a beam on a necklace, a freedom. This real hip hop, and it don't stop till we get the bubble on the block and call it here. Say it, say it, say it, say it, say it. Here, it's here, here, look at that high, here, look at that high, here, look at that high, look at that, here, look at that, here, do it high, do it here, say it high, go here, say it high, do it here, it's bigger than why? Look at that here, why? Look at that here, why? For big and the pop.
Do Sober Soldier salute. This is Stick from Dead Prez with my partner M1, and you are in tune to gotkushTV. gotkushTV, the conscious platform for all conscious people. Stay tuned.
There was empires in Africa called Kush, Timbuktu, where every race came to get books. My success to you, even if you wish me the opposite. Sooner or later, we'll all see who the prophet is.
Right now we say Tendam Wari, myself Shakara of the original Best Kept Secret Spoken Word Collective, representing for gotkushTV, and right now I'm here with the legendary, the man them that told you it's bigger than hip hop, the man them that told you about the police state, the man them that told you to F the law and to pimp the system, the man them that said I wanna go to Africa. Yes indeed, kings and queens, the one and only Stick Man and the one and only M1 of the legendary Dead Prez Kings and Queens. Thank you very much both for being there. It's a blessing to link up the man there, you know what I'm saying? And obviously one of the things that we have to get first of all, you know, is the original album. One day I walked into a store and I saw a cover with bare brothers and sisters holding up their guns in the air and the title Let's Get Free. I didn't even know who it was. I just had to buy the album, yeah, and I realized it was Dead Prez, yeah. First of all, I want to ask, what is the significance of that album so many years later, yeah, and what was the climate in hip hop at that time that album was brought into? Anybody can go first.
Let's think the climate at that time for us was many years of pushing for a dream, you know what I mean, to make it happen. And we was in Brooklyn, New York. We, homeless at times, snowstorms, you know what I mean, and but just hungry to create and put what was in our heart, out through the music. So it was Bad Boy was running the radio, shiny suits was popping, you know what I mean, and we was know, got shikis and fatigues, you know what I mean? So, yeah.
And locks, natty dreadlocks, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. So just, yeah, the climate was, we always wanted to make something timeless.
Yeah.
So that it didn't depend on what was trending at the time.
Yeah.
But we knew that the mainstream of the planet,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, it is in the struggle, you know, to progress, for justice,
Yeah.
to move forward, to evolve and things like that. So that's how we came in the game.
All right. So moving forward now, in terms of that album, in terms of all your work, and being able to travel. Yeah, I know traveling is one of the greatest experiences that anyone can have in their life. You know what I'm saying? So, what are some of the places that this music has taken you that stay in your heart, so to speak, as artists? Like, where are some of the places that you travel that you remember all the time when you're traveling?
Well, I looked at a picture yesterday of our first trip to Jamaica as a group.
Right.
It was crazy. I remember that around 97, 98.
Yeah.
You know, for me, the most influential places to travel take me near Africa.
Yes, yes.
So whenever we got our first invitation to South Africa, I still remember it from like it was yesterday.
Yes.
Getting off the plane, taking off my shoes so I could put my foot upon the ground first.
Yes,
not the Adidas, but my foot. And you know, I don't know. We are blessed to be able to testify that we have evidence things in the world that we can now relay to our comrades and our peers. So I'm blessed to be able to every particular place we touch down is a learning experience. You know what I'm saying? So pretty much.
All right. If I was to ask you, in terms of the artists that you've worked with, over the time that you've been doing this music, what are some of the highlights in terms of the artists that you've worked with, and who would you like to work with in the future?
Man, we've got to work and tour with some of the best, you know what I mean? From our label mates at the time, and Loud, Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep, Big Pun.
Terror Squad.
We worked with Nas, Erykah Badu, Dave Chappelle, you know what I mean? Jay-Z.
The
Marleys, you know what I mean? Long tour with Lauryn Hill. I mean, some of the best to do it, man. So the new artists that I'm into right now, one would be Vince Staples.
Okay.
I really like how he coming with it for the youth. Strong. And I like an artist called Nako Bear.
Okay.
I don't know if y'all hip to them, but thank me later, man. Nako Bear. Medicine for the People is the name of the band.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I want to shout out a couple of artists too that I think I'm definitely going to work with. Some of these new youths like the internet, like that crew, the internet I'm watching them and the sound, and I want to right now because my production team is getting up. I'm really loving the sound that the internet is producing, and I think we're definitely down to collaborate. I'm gonna work with MC Tef Poe, and Tef Poe is a young, brash, up and coming MC who just dropped an album. I think it's called War Machine, and I don't want to be wrong about it.
War Machine 3.
War Machine, and. So look out for Tef Poe, and and if you follow me on Instagram, you're gonna see a lot of new and up and coming artists because that's who I'm involved in interviewing in television and film. People like Joey Badass, and more. So so look out.
Some of our most legendary and memorable collaborations from Dead Prez is like the Red Hot and Riot album, you know what I'm saying? For the Femi Kutis and them. But last time I saw you over here was that with Shane Kuti and Robert Glasper down in Stratford there, you know what I'm saying? So yeah man, legendary. But in terms of all of that traveling, that music, I'm an artist, but I'm also a man of the movement. I'm an activist. And when we first heard of Dead Prez, that's one of the things that inspired us. We knew that they were members of, you know, an activist organization, and they were, you know what I'm saying, with the people. You know, when we never saw them on stage, there was work going on, you know what I'm saying, outside of that and these kinds of things. So what kind of activism is Dead Prez involved in now, knowing that activism evolves and transforms, and, you know what I'm saying, what kind of activism is Dead Prez involved in now? You know what I mean?
Well, for me, man, it's many years. I think activism is on different levels. You know what I mean? So I'm a strong believer in that. You know, you have to continue to evolve within yourself to be of service to the community. You know what I mean? So health and wellness has been the front lines for me for many years. Just advocating holistic health. I became a long distance running coach. I started a movement called the RBG Fit Club to help people feel that health was relevant to our movement. You know what I mean? And we look at a lot of the hip hoppers that pass away from preventable stuff. We look at a lot of the revolutionaries that was hooked on drugs and all of the diseases that's just in our community, and the food justice issues and food deserts in our communities, you know. So all of these kind of things to me is a type of activism that I think is really the front lines for whatever else we want to do, because without our health, you know, everything else that we want to accomplish, you know, I mean, we at a deficit. So, you know, that's the work that we've been doing with the RBG Fit Club.
For all the gym heads, yeah, if you haven't got the workout album, you have to get it. Stick man's up. Yeah, trust me, you do 1,000 more reps than you normally do.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Go on.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say co-sign to that. And the same, you know, we come from health and wellness in a whole nother way. Obviously, we began talking about be healthy and the sort. And I right now, activism, like Stick said, has spread. It's not just your traditional, like somewhat rhetorical, like movement grumblings. It is about reaching to places where the thought that we have to be liberated may not have gotten, and to see new ideas and ways about who can help implement this plan to overthrow this system so we can implement something new. And health and wellness is definitely a part of all of that. The same way we've used culture all these years, I'm also using culture in the form of film and TV. And I make conscious revolutionary content. I'm executive at a company called J11 M1 Productions. Okay. And through conscious revolutionary content, storytelling, culture, and technology, because I work with, this is the revolution. So this is how we're going to feed the people or get to them youths that never heard, and where they sitting right now in front of their device. This is how we're going to reach them. And so I use 360 degrees VR, virtual reality, HD, and I do conscious content, which combines basically all our cultural activities and a way to put them on the next level, so that we can be able to see the next tastemakers, influencers, the revolutionaries in a new light, in the light that makes them sexy, beautiful, culturally relevant, and hip. And so I have developed a few shows doing that through film and television. And one of those shows is called M1's The Message, which combines graffiti art as this, the first element of hip hop, the number one element of hip hop, with MCing, and to contextualize the message and to change the message. Therefore, that's how you get it. So I pull from people like Drake and J. Cole, and then I'll put them with legendary graffiti artists to develop a new message. And these things are to come. I've also developed shows like Sound of Revolution, which takes young and upcoming influencers like a Stickman, and put them in a place that allows us to super grow and impact time right now, our revolutionary efforts. And the bottom line for me is, of course, the people and the planet and profit, because we got to be talking about that in that way. The three organizations that I that our bottom line, I feed through the efforts of J Love and M1 Productions are Surge, Stand Up for Racial Justice, which is an organization built from many community organizations around America at this point with 50 chapters. Sankofa, which is headed by Harry Belafonte, and as you've seen on the front lines of many struggles against police brutality and more. And the other was El Puente. El Puente is probably the only revolutionary school in New York City that since the 60s hasn't had a broken legacy. It was began by the Young Lord Party, which was in partnership with the Black Panther Party. And so those are the three bottom line organizations that J Love and M1 Productions does. And of course, that's just one of the things I just wanted to tell you.
No, that's beautiful. We look forward to hearing more about that. You know what I'm saying?
One thing I did want to mention too, because we always need more support. We have a program with RBG Fit Club that my wife started called Drink Water. And she's a nutritionist. So in general, the program started to help people realize the importance of drinking more fresh, clean water. And in that process, we obviously realized that there's people on our planet that's not even having access to clean water if they wanted to choose it. So we created a program called Drink Water that people can support. We've already built 2 water wells in Malawi and in orphanages in Namatiti, Malawi, and we're working on a program now to make some donations to Flint, Michigan, for all the youth and the people in those communities. So our program is #DrinkWater. RBGFitClub.com is where people can support, get the shirts, the bottles, or whatever, and then we donate the proceeds to those different things.
Yes, sir. So you're hearing it here first, Kings and Queens. In saying all that and bringing all that together, I want to shout out the name of Mutulu Shakur. You know what I'm saying? Interesting situation going on with Mutulu Shakur right about now. But in bigging up that name, and you mentioned the Panthers, there's been a lot of spotlight on the Panthers in the UK recently, partly because of coming out of the whole Beyonce situation, but also Vanguard of the Revolution was shown on television over here a few weeks ago. So in terms of the Panthers and their lasting legacy, coming from dead Prez, what do you see as the lasting legacy of the Panthers, and in terms of how it's influencing this next generation right now?
Man, so much. Panthers influenced us so much as teenagers, you know what I mean, and continue to be inspirations on levels of thinking critically, you know, about the world that we live in acting, you know what I mean, coming up with programs and ideas that are original, you know, with the survival programs that Huey and them put down, and sickle cell testing, and the breakfast programs, and self-defense, political education classes, you know what I mean? This is what our movements and our generations are doing, you know what I mean? This is Black Lives Matters, and all of these organizations are inspired by their bravery and by their taking responsibility for our wellness and our well-being. So, I mean, you know, it don't get no higher than the Panthers. You know, as far as, you know, the streets stood up and woke up. You know what I mean? And so, I mean, their legacy is, I think the best way, like I think Malcolm, I might be paraphrasing him, the best way to honor the Panthers' legacy is to continue to work, you know, in whatever form, whether it's in your art, in your garden, you know what I mean, in your self-defense training, in the schools, you know what I mean, continue the work of liberation and loving the people.
Yes, sir. Anything to add there?
Of course. First of all, I say free Mutulu Shakur.
Yes, sir.
And he should have been home.
Should have been home. I don't know.
But you know, for those who don't understand, I would love to be somebody who can make this lens very clear. This person has done, and most of these brothers have done significant amount of time, longer than most people time for what the crime they have committed would have been home for. You know, people like Herman Bell have done 4 times the time of someone who would have committed the same crime. And so welcome home to Albert Woodfox, finally. Albert Woodfox, one of the Angola 3. came home just 1 week ago. Welcome home to people like Eddie Conway. Welcome home to people like Sekou Odinga. But we have so many more brothers and sisters behind enemy lines that need to be heralded. There are our heroes that are useful to our community and that evidence of war against our community and are also evidence of victory. Like Stick said, you know, our people stood up and spoke, and when one of the most powerful voices and images of all time, which of course was honored by Beyonce at the Super Bowl, which is a beautiful thing and more, but you know, we have a lot of work to do. But the fact that Mutulu Shakur was about to come home was beautiful, but it's also a threat to the system. Why? Because his co-defendant, the person who was riding in the car with him in the alleged bank robbery that they're saying that he is in prison for, a white woman who was driving the car, is up for parole and coming home. People may not know this, but if you read, you do. And out of that, it also makes it probable that that Mutulu Shakur should be able to come home as well.
Yeah.
This happened before the parole board and last year, and guess what? The parole board said, yes, you're right. You're right. And gave him a release date.
Yep.
So at the time that he was about to be released, there was publicity around this case. Namely, the New York Times threw him under the bus, and alerted. Basically, it was an alert to the people who prosecuted him, the police officers who were involved in the robbery and the rest, and it put his name in a light that would make them go back and then say, we have to retry him. We're not quite sure, pardon me, if he should be on the streets, and so it's some kangaroo court ass shit, part of my language, but that's what's happening. And so we're gonna continue to fight for his release, and
that's
right. That's what that is. So,
free Mutulu Shakur, and as we say, free Mutulu Shakur, we have to shout out to Asata Shakur, who really gave the example of what the hell to do in these situations. You know what I'm saying? So we give thanks for that example right there.
We gotta big up Tupac Shakur.
Indeed, that's right. You know what I'm saying? Serious, yeah, a lot of history right there. It brings everything back to light in terms of the fact that that's a legacy from the 60s up until now. We've got some unresolved issues. You know what I'm saying? So we got to stay on the fight, as Stickman said. You know what I'm saying? And continue that legacy. I know both of you have got some movement, so I can't have Dead Prez here without asking the question: what's up with the new music? When's it coming out? You know what I'm saying? Anyone can go first on that.
Yeah. Well, my partner M got a new album.
Alright.
Between Me and the World, dropping on May 6th.
Yes.
And it's crazy. You know, a lot of world music, a lot of powerful energy. Myself, I'm executive producing a mixtape album for the 10th element of hip hop that we talking about in the show. And so that'll be dropping on the 21st of April.
Alright.
And Workout 2 on the way.
Alright. We look forward to that. And talk about your album.
Between Me and the World, May 6th. M1 from Dead Prez and Bono, a new name. This name is an Italian brother who I've been producing with. It actually began as a production company and a sound system. A revolutionary sound system where we play all throughout Europe in only social centers.
Okay.
Mainly like 90% in places that are, you know, anti-imperialist, anti-fascist amongst the white people and the black people. We go to the centers, the Senegalese centers and the Ghanaian centers in the European basins where they treat our brothers and sisters like dirt, and we go do performances in those centers. And we talk about our experiences there and what it would take to and truly it has been an evolutionary experience for me to see activism on that level, which America pales in comparison to, because the level of clash, the level of commitment, the level of deepening of understanding of world politics is so evident in Europe. So I've been taking that home for 4 to 5 years, and I've also been working with Bono as a master composer who plays 10 instruments and has savvy out the ass. To continue to develop what you know I've learned from Stick and what I've learned from Dead Prez, and continue to produce. So we produced this album completely ourselves. It's Between Me and the World, which is a takeoff of revolutionary literature that's passing around the United States right now. So we lit like a motherfucker. And by a book called Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. And so what we've done is we phrased it. And we've also called on people like Prodigy from Mile Deep so we can be able to get that element to the street. Called on people like Killer Mike, who are also is a voice that's being heard in the United States, and more people. You know, and this is the sound that we created. So look out. The album will be out May 6th, and I'm proud to be presenting.
You heard it here first, Kings and Queens, and that is that for Got Kush interview with the one and only, the legendary Dead Prez. And remember, you ain't got nothing if you ain't got Kush.
Nah, pop, pop, pop.
Bless.
Bless.
Sooner or later, we'll all see who the prophet is.
Subscribe. Long this up.